Hello, how are you? Welcome to your favorite podcast. It is Candid with Candy. I'm your host, V Candy. Madlamini, you can call me Nonhlenhla. Thank you so much to those who have subscribed. And if you haven't, make sure that you subscribe and also that you press onto that notification bar so that you don't miss any of the action that happens here, because we deliver. Joining us today for an exclusive in the respect that we get to know the person behind the controversy. He is one of the most controversial individuals we have in Zimbabwe. Some call him an anti-feminist, but he is Zimbabwe's favorite villain. Ladies and gentlemen, Shadaya Knight.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very, very good. Yes. And you?
I'm fantastic. Today, are you Shadaya Knight? Are you Fela in Versace? Are you the Ayatollah of toxicity?
I would say everything. Everything in one. Yes. Everything. Yeah.
Let's start by saying happy birthday.
Oh.
Happy 29th birthday.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Feels good. Feels good being 29. Feels good.
And I was checking out your Twitter. You were mentioning some of the things that you wish you knew. No, let me actually go to the tweet. This is the specific. You said, few things I've learned or wished someone taught me on many aspects of life.
Yes.
From that whole thread and that whole list, which one comes tops?
The first one, women. The things about women. Yes. I wish, someone had taught me earlier about those things that I know now. And that is why I ended up, tweeting about it. I would want someone who's still maybe in their late teens, early 20s to know about that. Yes.
What has been your actual experience with women? Because you speak so much about women. I think it's the first thing that comes really close to your heart. Have you had a bad, nasty experience from a past relationship that actually really sticks out?
Yes, when it comes to women or relationships, who hasn't had, that type of situation, whereby you're hurt. Everyone has been hurt, but I wouldn't say that's the reason why I am this person that people know.
Who is this person that we know? How would you say or break it down? Who is this person that people see you as? And are you that person?
Okay. People see me, people, let's be specific, let's say women. For women, they see me as a villain, somebody who's bitter, somebody who's hurt, somebody who's broken, somebody who's just hateful of women. And for men, that depends now, we've got two groups of men. Would say normal men. They see me as somebody who's saying some of the things they wish to say, but they cannot say. And then for the other
so you are their mouthpiece?
Yes, I'm
you
sort
feel
of like,
so?
Yes, I'm sort of like their mouthpiece. And for the other group of men, these ones are what we call the SIMPs, the simps. They see me as a bad person who's, against women, a person who should, be stopped, a person who shouldn't exist. That's the thing. So when it comes to how people view me, it depends with the demography. It depends with who we're talking about.
Are you okay with that label? Because that is what you've projected of a misogynist, anti-feminist, someone who just recklessly puts out comments and stereotypes women. And really crude statements you have made about women. Are you okay with that label? I think it's intentional. I think you don't even try to run away from that.
Yes, I won't say I'm a misogynist. I won't say so. But
your comments are hateful.
It's women who view me like that. I'm not a misogynist. I'm more of what I would say a realist. I say the harsh reality that people do not want to face, the truth people do not want to hear. That's what I say. I'm not a misogynist. Do
you okay, because it's more of stereotyping. Some of the statements that you make, they are true of a certain group of women. It's the same thing about men. I cannot just sit here and say men are dogs. some men are dogs. Do you feel that you need to hedge your statements? Do you feel that you need to hedge your statements because your statements are just stereotypical, where you say, women are like this, women are like that?
Okay, yes, thing. The law of, how would I say? The law of polarity, as in Gucci. If many behave in a certain way, we are going to label people that they behave in a certain way. Let's say, I'm going to give you an example. Let's say we're talking about our country, Zimbabwe, right? And then someone says, the majority of, the majority of people, they are, wouldn't say they are living that kind of life they would really want. Would say maybe people are struggling. It doesn't mean everyone else is what? Struggling. You've got people who are struggling and people who are not what? Struggling. But due to the fact that the majority is struggling, someone will simply say, South Africans, they can simply say Zimbabweans are suffering. Wherever we go, we are in Botswana, Zambia, wherever our people are, people say Zimbabweans are suffering. But that doesn't mean that's the true scenario for every Zimbabwean, right? So when I say women are like this, it's because the majority of women are like that. We cannot say certain women are like this.
You're dating. How is your girlfriend? Where would you place her? Because you're in a relationship, right? Confirm?
Yes, I'm in a relationship.
Yeah, can you describe your girlfriend for us?
Past 2 years, by the way. Past 2 years.
It's a very long relationship.
Yes.
And I would advise that girl that maybe it's too long.
No.
It may be too lengthy.
No, it's not even long.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Before you think of properly committing with a woman, let's say get married to her, you need to take your time, to know her, the true her. Because here's the thing, women are known to be great pretenders.
So a man? Men
Yes.
can actually really fake it until they get what they want.
Yes,
Yeah.
same as women.
Same as some women.
Women, not some women.
How would you describe a girlfriend? Which class does she belong
Okay.
in terms of characteristics and personality?
Okay, we've got the modern liberated women, right? These are the ones I usually talk about. And then we've got a very, very small portion of, I would say, conservative, modern conservative women. These are still women, yes, they're modern, they're thinking about jobs, they're thinking about education. I think they've got dreams, but at the same time, they still respect the fact that men and women are different, right? She knows she has a role to play, the man has a role to play. So I would put her in that special category of our modern conservative women. And in the particular case of Zimbabwe or even Africa, I would say we're now around 10%.
Did you find
90%
yourself a virgin that you'll pay lobola for?
As in, what do you mean?
Because you have said that only virgins are worthy to, have a man come and pay lobola. So I'm asking, have you found that person for yourself?
She is. That's the thing.
You guys are not intimate?
Yes, we are not intimate. We are not intimate. For the sake of being on camera, we are not intimate.
Okay.
Yes. But when it comes to marriage, yes, I don't say that you are not supposed to pay money for a woman who isn't a virgin. What I say is priority should be prioritized on what? Virginity. Because even if you go for, let's say if you're a Christian, we go biblical. There's a certain reason why even, God himself decided that, his only begotten son was going to come through what? A virgin. Purity. Because yes, even if we are to go scientifically, yes, some debate it, but it has been proved to be quite true, realistic, that the more men a woman sleeps with, the more they mess up with their DNA, her genetics. It's been proven. But some argue about it, but it's been proven.
I think it's very arguable.
Yes, but it's been proven.
Okay.
So I would say for me, if I'm marrying someone, I want to marry someone who's pure, who hasn't been contaminated, for a lack of a better word, I'm going to use contaminated by another man's genes, another man's DNA. That's what I would say.
Contaminated.
Yes.
So I'm sure you have also been with women.
Yes.
Who do you think are going to marry those women? Maybe they were with you in good faith, thinking that you're going to settle with them, because people, it's through different circumstances that people find themselves being intimate with someone.
Yes.
With other people, it's because the person would have promised marriage, and they'll be thinking they're in it for a long time and maybe for life.
Okay.
What will happen to those people whose virginity that you broke as well?
Okay, yes, think about these people. These people, I'm sure they come from families. And I'm sure, considering our generation, our parents, they are a different generation than us. And we all know this. Our parents, their generation, all of them, I would say, they tell their kids, do not sleep with a man until he marries you. So for me, it's not my fault if you're dumb enough not to listen to your parents and you allow me to slide, inside you. It's not my fault.
Okay.
Yes, it's not my fault. There's this proverb, a foolish woman who goes to the market and lets everyone test, whatever she's selling for free, she may end up living with the pot empty and no one has even, paid anything. That's the thing. It's not my fault.
It's good, but then how you put it, it's good to say, especially even to young girls, if I'm to talk to them, do not give it away. Save it for marriage. There's nothing that you're missing out.
Yes.
But then how you then put it, I think it's crude and it's just reckless. Yeah. What is the standard for men?
The standard for men?
Yeah. Is there a standard for men?
When it comes to what?
To morality, to that moral code.
Moral code.
That you put and that you expect women to say, no, keep yourself until marriage. Is there also like a standard for men that's expected?
Okay.
According to your theories and philosophies.
Yes, there's a standard for men. Okay, when it comes to marriage for a man, make sure you have, let's say, stabilized financially. Don't go, into marrying someone when you're not financially stable. And I'm not talking about being rich, but I'm just saying have at least, a stable source of income before you decide, to take someone on, to bring someone on into your life. Because as a man, your role is to be a provider. How are you going to provide for the woman if you're not financially stable?
So you've also attacked women who then go for men who are comfortable, because as you rightfully put that men are providers.
Yes.
Is there anything wrong for a woman to place herself in the arms of someone who's capable of looking for them? Do they now become a gold digger, or it makes sense?
Okay, yes, that's why I always say women are hypergamous by nature. It means that women will always go for the high-value men, the man who's financially stable, the man who's powerful, the man who's, I would say, popular, right? The man who's the man, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But now the problem is this. We've got a generation of women whereby 100% of women, they all think they deserve the 10% of men. Because here's the thing, when it comes to being high value, it's not every man who's high value. There are only a small percentage of those men. Maybe in Zimbabwe, I would say we've got 5% who fit into that bracket. And they have 100% of women wanting to be with them. And these 100 women, they all think they deserve them. But here's the thing. When it comes to these 5% men, what they want, they do not want, this modern liberal woman. What they want is a modern conservative woman. They don't want a woman who thinks it's okay to, parade their body naked on social media. They don't want a woman who thinks it's okay, to belittle, not to respect, not to be submissive to the men. They want a conservative, a modern conservative woman. That's what I'm always talking about. Yes, there's nothing wrong with a woman wanting a rich guy. But at the same time, let us be realistic. Because the rich guys, are they looking for you? Are you the type that they're looking for? Because you now find yourself in a situation whereby most of these women, they think because they are educated, I've got a degree, I've got a career, so I'm entitled to what? To these high-value men. But here's the thing, men don't want to be with another man.
Okay.
They don't want to be another man, because most of the times we've found out that when a woman gets educated, when a woman gets a career, she tends to think that she's on par with the men. And it doesn't work for those high-value men. They do not want that.
But then we've also seen men with a financial standing, or wealthy men also going for young girls who are labeled slave queens.
Yes,
what's that category?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, what's the type?
Yes,
because many of them, they're actually abusing their financial standing, going for the women.
No, yes, thing now. When you're a man, when you talk about these men going for these young women, that's where we get to the men's nature now. I've talked about the woman's nature. Hypergamous by nature. They want the high-value men. You want the high-value men, right? Now for men, they are polygamous by nature, and they are actually attracted to what? Young women. That's the thing. Me, I'm 29 right now, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I'm not attracted to women of my age or above. I'm not.
But then there are also men who go for
I'm not,
older women.
Because for me, I'm now attracted to, I would even go and say, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds.
That's young.
No, she's not young. She's of age, according to even our law in this country.
She is, but then the gap is a bit of a stretch.
And that's how it should be. That's how it should be in a normal, healthy relationship. The man should be what? Older than the woman.
Say you've married your wife, you're now 59, and your wife is now 40. She's no longer young. Are you still going to eye the other younger women?
Okay, yes, I'll eye the younger women. Because yes, let's go back to the ancient times. What used to happen? A man would pick as many wives as he could, right? Yes, the first wife, she knows at a certain point, I'm going to reach menopause. At a certain point, I'm no longer going to be, able to satisfy my husband sexually. She would actually offer what? A younger sister, maybe a younger relative to the what? To the men.
I think we enable men so much. I think we enable men so much.
You don't enable men, but those women realize that men were the prize.
Do you think that monogamy is a utopia, that it's far-fetched, it's not possible for a man to settle for one woman and be happy?
Okay, yes, then. It's sort of like when you put a lion in a cage, in a zoo. Is it free? Yes, you're feeding it everything, you're giving it everything on a free platter.
Yeah.
But can you say the lion in a zoo and the lion in the jungle, they are the same? They're different. Yes, the one in the jungle has to struggle for food, has to struggle for survival, but it's free. That's the thing. A polygamous man is free. A man in a monogamous relationship is not free.
So, okay, if you're
That's why now where porn comes into action. These men, because they've been, castrated, they can no longer, spread their seeds. They can no longer, look for other women. They now have to satisfy that edge through what? Porn. They're now watching porn, checking off to porn. He's imagining himself with those women. Is that different from, sleeping with another woman? He's now compensating that. He's been told you cannot, be with another woman. But he wants to be with another woman. His nature wants to be with another woman. So he gets to experience another woman through porn.
But then also that's relative. That's subjective to that sort of person.
Yes.
Do you feel that every man in a monogamous relationship is killing off their edge with something else?
Yes.
You feel so?
Yes, they're killing off their edge with something else.
You think it's impossible for a man to be monogamous?
It's impossible.
It's impossible?
Yes.
You can also, please tell us, do you think it's impossible for men to be monogamous? I don't think so. I think it's all in the mind. I think it's a mental thing.
No.
That if you decide, because women, you're also capable of seeing other people, but then it's about commitment and knowing that you are with this person for life.
Okay, yes thing. When a man sleeps with different kinds of women, he tends to be happy. When a woman does the same, she tends to get depressed.
Yeah.
She tends to get depressed. That alone shows you men and women are different.
I think they're just not taming their promiscuity. It's called promiscuous and not just polygamy.
Tame. Why tame something that's natural?
It's not, promiscuity is not natural.
And throughout the ages, women have always outnumbered men. There comes the point where we can say, at the same time, polygamy was not about a man having many wives, but about making sure every woman has a man. Don't you think so? Why do you think you are the only one who deserves to be with a man and your fellow women shouldn't be with a man? Because if we're going to say...
not everything on earth is balanced in terms of numerically looking at it.
3:1.
Yeah.
3:1. Now we've got men, other men being gay. Meaning we can even go to a certain extent where you now when it comes to heterosexual relationships, women are outnumbering men 5-1. You get a man and you want him to be more monogamous. What are the 4 other women going to do? What are they supposed to do?
I'm like, it's the same thing with wealth.
What are they supposed to do?
It's for the few.
Yes,
not everything on earth is balanced.
Yes.
Not all the ratios are going to balance.
Yes.
So it's the same thing with marriage.
But yes,
yes.
Let's go. We go back now. When we talk about polygamy, right? When we were, back in the day when it was still okay to be polygamous, did we have cases of, how would I say this? Children without fathers, children without male figures in their lives. We didn't have that situation.
Single women, single mothers.
We didn't have that. We didn't have that.
A lot of things have changed because times are changing and moving.
And here's the thing now.
Yeah.
Why change something that has worked for millennia? Why try to change it?
If you're going to,
it's not perfect.
If you're going to get married today,
but it has always worked.
If you're going to get married today,
yes.
Okay? Is marriage in the picture for you?
I would say traditional. Yes, the traditional way. You pay lobola. That's in my books. That's in my books.
And would you also want to have? Do you aspire to have more wives?
Now, here's the thing. When I talk with my girlfriend, because, like I said, modern conservative woman, she knows there's a possibility that I might want to pick another woman. She knows that possibility. And we've even, had chats about it, and the conclusion was like, okay, here's the thing. Do not cheat. Rather, officialize it. Say it so that, here's the thing, I'm not with you, I know you're with, this and that. You're not with me, I know you're there. That's the thing. Because she knows it's impossible for a man to be monogamous.
It's not impossible.
You can only lie that he's monogamous, because now here's the thing. When a man loves a woman in this modern era, right, he's going to be, acting to his instincts. But because of this monogamous structure we've created, he's going to lie to his woman. To lie, I'm not seeing anyone else. I've never slept with anyone else.
But confirm, even if they are there, they could be a few, but then they are there who are really committing to one woman and have been married for years.
I would say this now. These are what we would call special cases. But in most times you'd find with these men, the testosterone, is dead. Low, very, very low in those men. It's very, very low. It becomes a situation whereby it's no longer the man in that relationship, it's more of the woman now in that relationship. Yes, it's now the woman in the relationship.
Shadaya, today, as we said, it's a happy birthday to you, 1029,
yes.
and we want to get to know the person behind all these statements that have gone viral in different spaces and that have really caused people to argue and to debate, to say, no, this guy is just anti-feminist. You stay in Chitungwiza.
Yes.
Were you born there and bred there?
Yes.
How was your upbringing?
For a guy who grew up with both parents, I would say the best childhood anyone can wish to have. Yes, we didn't have much, but because of the fact that I had both parents around me, it was, something that to this very day, when I think about it, I just smile. I had a great childhood, to be honest. And that is why I would want the coming generations to have that same feeling. You have that same experience, experiencing both parents. That's the main issue with whatever I preach, whatever I say. I'm saying yes thing. Why do you want to destroy something that has always worked? What has always worked was what? A family, a father and a mother, and then the kids. But now you're promoting a situation whereby it's the mother and the kids, the mother and the kids.
Because of absent fathers, men who are choosing to be absent. Because I think you then put the blame on the women, but then it's also because of deadbeat dads who then choose to be absent from their children's lives. It's happening.
Thing. Let's talk about, we're talking about these so-called deadbeat dads, right? Who is grooming these deadbeat dads? Because you'd find out, most women, they are now single mothers. They are raising these sons. How about they raise them better not to be deadbeats? You're still raising them on your own, and they're still turning out to be what? Deadbeats, right? And then I go back to my point of polygamy. If we were to, in a situation whereby we had normalized polygamy, I don't see a situation whereby a man has to, run away from his responsibility. Because some of the times, I'm married, right? And then I start seeing this woman. And then I get this woman pregnant, right? This woman, if I were to, to reveal to my wife that I made another woman pregnant, she would want what? To live. And she would want to live with what? Let's say half of my resources, right? So at the end of the day, I end up what? Having to run from my what? From my responsibility. Right? But if polygamy was normalized, I would simply say, hey, so I chicken this would die. I did this and that, I want to pick. In fact,
we could look at it from a different angle. If men were not promiscuous and we're not liars, then this would not be happening.
If
we look at it
if women
at a different angle,
handle the truth that men can never be monogamous, we wouldn't be in such a situation. You are trying to force this Western idea on us. It's not us. And even in the Western society, you had a situation whereby their men would go to the brothels. They didn't have, they had what they would call a mistress. Their men, the European men, the Western men, had what they would call a mistress, to show that it's unnatural for a man to be monogamous. Why are you imposing, this thing? Why are you trying to impose it?
Raised by both parents, how does your mom feel? Or is she aware of this persona, Shadaya, the Ayatollah of toxicity? And what does she feel about the statements you've made about women, where some have called you an anti-feminist and someone who's just hateful towards women? Does she know?
Yes, thing. Yes, thing. My mother, I can't say she knows, because the same things that I talk about online, when I talk with my mother, that's the same things I talk about with her. She knows that's where I stand with regards to women, relationships, gender. She knows that's where I stand. And she gets it because I was raised by what? By an alpha male. My father, he lived by these rules. He lived by these principles. He lived this life. I'm the son of my father. Yes.
There are some men who, and I could name a lot, who were raised by single mothers. Barack Obama, one of them, who turned out to be amazing.
Here's the thing. When you judge a man turning out amazing, nowadays you are only looking at the financial or the, I would say what?
I think
social status.
Holistic.
Yes, thing. No disrespect to our example, Barack Obama. Who knows? Maybe one day I may want to go to the US, right? But when we look at Barack Obama, right? Have you seen pictures or videos of him with his wife, Michelle? You can actually tell who is the man in that relationship.
I'm done with you.
No, you can actually tell.
He respects his wife.
No, that is a castrated man. That is a castrated man. Like, seriously. Compare the pictures of Barack Obama with his wife and then compare the pictures of Donald J. Trump and his wife.
That's a chauvinist.
You see a difference between, a dominating man and a castrated man. There's a difference between those two.
I think your view on relationships and on love is actually warped.
No.
God knows why.
I remember this speak, this speak about Barack Obama. Michelle Obama, she was walking in front and he was at the back. So, and you just can't make this
I
shit up.
think it cannot be
And I see
overcalculated
I
like
see
that,
it
Shadaya.
every time I go to the malls, You see these guys, it's sort of like a dog on a leash, The woman is in front and the guy is at the back, You're supposed to be the leader. But
then he then led a whole nation. We don't care what happens domestically.
Who did more? When it comes to leadership, who did more? Barack Obama or Donald J. Trump for America?
Legacy.
No.
Legacy speaks volumes.
Because, it is said the American economy grew far much better under Donald J. Trump than under Barack Obama. Already you can see, if you cannot lead a woman, you can never really make a good leader.
No, he made a fantastic. I think if you're to argue if Barack Obama was a fantastic leader or not.
We are arguing not on semantics. We're talking about statistics.
Was his leadership questionable?
No, here's the thing.
Is his present legacy questionable?
Donald J. Trump.
Yeah.
He employed more black people than
because he was raised by a mother and a father.
Than in actual black president, in Barack Obama. The American economy itself was growing tremendously under Donald J. Trump. These affects, I'm not making this
we're getting to the dots and to the I's and to the, crossing the T's. But then I'm saying just the basic thing of, it's not even a basic, the great thing of him assuming power as the first black president in America, raised by a single mom. It shows that he was raised successfully. Now we want to get to the, to the small things. And
now we get to,
to the small numbers. Just the fact that he occupied that position. Yes.
Okay, yes, thing. At some point in time, I can tell you this, in America, the president is going to be occupied by, part of the alphabet gang. A gay dude at some point in time is going to be an American
if
president.
He's capable.
At some point in time, a woman is even going to lead that country. Why? Because, when it comes to America, it's all about making things up for the rest of the world.
I think you just do not want to accept that he was raised in a good environment and raised to be a leader.
No.
Yes.
No, because if we're talking about single mothers raising sons very well, kids or sons without fathers, sons being raised with mothers would actually turn out to do better than those growing up under both parents. But at the end of the day, you gave me an example of the US, right? The US president. When we go to the US now, check the highest number of people in prison. Who raised them? Single mothers. The highest number of people who are on drugs. Who raised them? Single mothers.
That's debatable.
The highest number of kids who are dropping out of school raised by who? Single mothers. Meaning,
and with some who are raised by both parents.
Doing a good job. I mean about the statistics. The numbers don't lie. The majority of people, or I would say men, in prison right now in the US, they come from single mother households.
From dysfunctional families. And the dysfunction is not just because...
Is a dysfunctional, that's a dysfunctional family.
A dysfunctional family can also mean a drunkard father, an absent father who then remarried and ran away from the family. There are different things.
Under terms, they clearly say, the statistics clearly say, single mother.
No, dysfunctional families.
Single mothers.
Drug addicts. Addict fathers.
Single mothers.
Yeah.
Because, do you know why? Because at the end of the day, a woman can never be able to make a boy into a man.
There are men who
It's
are men just
impossible.
with the title, but then they're
It's
emasculated.
impossible.
They do not make any
It's
difference.
impossible.
Them being present in the house
Because-
doesn't mean they're grooming a person to be.
Yes, and that's
to be
another
a-
thing. That's
to be
another
a-
thing we
a
talk
man.
about. Okay.
Yeah.
What has brought on about this emasculation of men? If you're telling men when you're supposed to be married, you're going to be 50-50 with your wife. You're supposed to do house chores for your wife. You're supposed to do this for your wife. You're supposed to do this, do this, do this. You are emasculating these men, and then you say, you know, these men are emasculated.
Not
but you're promoting it. You are promoting it.
Even Marume
Yes, even back
who
then
were
in the
not
day.
who raised
But
children
there
in a
were few
dysfunctional
cases.
family,
There were few
drunkards, promiscuous.
Few cases. We're talking about numbers. Let's talk about numbers. Few cases. And when we talk about now, then very, very now, we are promoting the emasculation of men. Simply saying, whenever you switch on your TV, right? You're watching these shows whereby you've got this husband. The husband is reduced to a joke. If you watched most sitcoms today, okay, I'll give you an example. Early 2000, we had this sitcom, My Wife and Kids. And then now we've got this one, Blackish.
Yeah.
You can see a sharp contrast between the two. My Wife and Kids, the man was the patriarchy. He was the leader of that family. Now we go to Blackish. You are in a situation whereby it's actually the woman who's now running the household. That's
Because
the
it's
thing.
a reality.
No.
Men also have
No.
emasculated
You are now
themselves
promoting
because they want to
that.
be looked after.
You are now promoting that. You are promoting such scenarios. That's the thing I'm talking
So
about.
you're saying the cause of men who have turned out to be bad are women?
Yes.
Are we pinning it on the women?
We're pinning it on the women.
Really?
Because, yes, we're pinning it on the women.
They cannot do bad by themselves?
Because here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. Women were given so much power.
To nurture?
Were given so much power, you know, when the politicians, I'm now going back to politics, when the politicians wanted to, you know, remain in power. I'm not talking about our particular politicians, but I'm just saying politicians in general, right? When they wanted to retain in power, what did they realize? They realized this: women outnumber men. So let us be biased towards what? Women. You get the women's vote, you stay what? In control of the situation. Why? Because women, they are illogical, they are what? Emotional beings. You just give them anything, they will just go, yeah, we want it, we want it, we want it. Women have been
It's such a blanket statement.
Women have been given so much power. But yes, it's like giving a child so much money. A child doesn't know what to do with this money. Women are incapable of holding power. They are now destroying society. They are now destroying even themselves. They are now destroying
Break
their
it down.
own. They are now
How
destroying
are
even their
women
own
destroying
kids.
society?
How
Because
are we-
men have been leading, and still
Okay.
women are still fighting for that, you know, gender parity, which has not yet been realized.
Which gender parity hasn't been realized?
It has not been realized in the
tell me.
boardrooms,
Okay.
in the world,
Here's the
in
thing.
governance, in different spaces.
Okay, let's go into the corporate sector.
But today
right?
we wanted really to get to know you,
No,
Shadaya.
I want to go into the corporate sector.
Yes.
You're saying we haven't reached gender parity in
We
the
have
corporate
not,
sector.
yeah.
Why do you say so? You're saying there are more men in boardrooms than women.
Very true.
Why? Why is that so?
Globally.
Why? Why is that so? Now ask
Because there is a
yourself.
bias towards
No,
men.
it's because men offer more than women.
No,
Because here's the
Shadaya.
thing. I'm going to give you...
Historically,
No.
there have been women who are capable, but then because
few
of how...
few cases. Because here's the thing, I'm going to tell you this. How many women do you find in startups? Very, very few women. Women are not willing to risk shit. That's the thing. Most startups are founded by men. You know, they are all about men. Men are the ones who are in startups. Women, they only want to come when the bandwagon, you know, when the company is now at a stage whereby it's now stable. That's the thing with women. So here's the thing. You find me, I started my shit myself, right? And then my shit is now stable. And then you simply say now, you want to be on the same table with me. Doesn't make any sense. And even when we go, I'm not talking about the boardroom. When we go into the field, right?
Yeah.
Men work more than women. Men work more than women. You know that.
I guess that's according to
So,
you as well,
not
because
according
of your
to me.
biased view.
No, not according
as
to
I
me.
say that you don't hedge.
Not according to
I think
me.
you have stereotyped women to
Yes,
be
thing.
to be
How
to be
many,
very
okay,
true.
You
yeah.
are a journalist,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're a journalist. Let's go to Ukraine right now. How many women, how many female journalists do you see in the heat of things compared to men? That alone
in
tells
Israel,
you
there is a female
that
journalist
alone-
who
there
actually
is-
died
there is.
recently.
Yes,
so
thing.
they go
No,
there.
but now here's the thing.
Frontline, they're
It
reporting.
made news. It made news. There is a female journalist who died. Male journalists, they die and life just goes on. That's the thing. In
Not
numbers,
necessarily.
it just goes on. The reason why it's reported is because it's a woman who has died. That's why it's reported.
How would you want to raise your daughter differently?
My daughter.
Yeah, if you are to have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm to have a daughter, right, I would simply raise her on the same values that little girls or women used to be raised on, right?
And they turned out right?
They turned out right.
Okay.
It started going shit around the 90s. Around the 90s, you know, that's when it started going shit. That's when the feminist wave, you know, like hit these parts of Africa, you know, that's when it hit us. And everything started going, you know, just to shit.
How would you want to raise your daughter differently?
I would I would simply be anti-liberal, whatever this liberal shit is all about. Everything against the modern day way of life. That's how I would raise my daughter.
So you will not raise an empowered woman. You're against an empowered woman
No, yes, thing.
who can be a director, a CEO
Our
of a
mothers
company.
were more empowered than the women of this generation. That's the funny part. They were more empowered because here's the thing. How do you say you are empowered when you're miserable? Because here's the thing. Statistically, it shows that the modern women are more hooked on antidepressants compared to our mothers.
And the
compared
modern
to our
man is
grandmothers.
taking his own life. And
Yes,
it's a real
now,
issue.
It's
Yeah.
It's because of
It's
the what?
cross-pollinates
It's because
of the woman.
It's
Oh
because
my
of
gosh.
emasculation of men.
That's why they're taking their own lives.
You have emasculated these men to a point whereby the only way out is to what? Take his life.
And they've been emasculated by
Because
women.
here's the thing, you keep on taking, you know, everything is being taken from the men. Everything. You've even invaded our spaces. We no longer even have male spaces. I'm talking about, you know, in the so-called first world countries. The men, they no longer even have their own spaces. You're now being told, barb shops are supposed to be this, toilets are supposed to be this. Every space, you know, where we could be by ourselves, women are invading.
I think mental health is an issue that is cross-pollinated.
What is
both
mental health?
in
Mental health didn't exist, I would say, 20 or 30 years ago.
a lot of things didn't
Why
exist
didn't it
20 or
exist?
30 years
Because
ago.
the men back in the day, they could handle pressure. They were raised as men. Now you're raising boys in a ball of cotton, soft men. You've got men, I'm not going to mention any example. Recently on Twitter, we had a grown-ass man, you know, he was saying, I'm going to file a lawsuit to another man for saying I'm a terrible singer. Honestly, that shows you the quality of men we now have. We have low quality men because of what? This modern BS we have. We have low quality men.
What sort of men are you outside of you behind the keyboard and tweeting, you know, that you're muscular? What sort of men are you,
I would say
Shadaya?
I'm muscular. I'm not muscular, but I would say I'm just a man who's a man.
Are you a simp?
I have refused to become a real man. I don't want to become that. I'm just a man in my true nature, a man being a man. I don't want to turn into this modern thing called a real man. What is a real man? There's nothing such as a real man. I'm a man. I'm not apologetic about my masculinity, the things that I like, the things that I'm drawn to, my nature, I'm proud of it. But now, the modern man is being shamed for, you know, being a man. I refuse to be shamed for being a man. I'm polygamous by nature. I love women. When I see this woman, I'm going to look at her. I'm going to fantasize, you know, sleeping with her. I'm going to fantasize whatever I, you know, think about her.
Objectifying.
Yeah. No, women like to actually, when it comes to objectification, women are doing a fine job by themselves, objectifying themselves. You've got women on social media parading their naked bodies for likes. Can there be, any more, a higher standard of objectification other than that? You've got women on Twitter, she will put her own picture where their breasts may be out, her hips showing, and then she will put, let's say, a PlayStation.
But that's the same woman that you're fantasizing
and then
about.
She's now saying, choose between me or this PlayStation. Which one are you going to choose? She's objectifying herself. But now, back in the day, we had women objectifying themselves for a greater prize. Let's say we had those reed parades, reed dances, whereby, like, it's still practiced in Swaziland. You've got virgins, they line up, for the king, naked. There's a prize. They are going to get what? A high-value man.
No,
they are going to get a king. But now you are parading yourself for what? For likes. Simple algorithms, tweet, and you feel
for
good
some,
about
they're getting
yourself.
paid for it. They're modeling in lingerie, getting paid.
Most of them are not even getting paid. They just do it for that, that feeling. Tweet. I want a like. They do that for likes.
I think, honestly, that modern day men should be raised better to be able to coexist with an empowered woman who's not just a housewife, but then who's also going to the boardroom, who's pushing numbers, who's making money, and going back home to submit to them. And,
it's impossible now. Now it's impossible.
Not entirely.
Because, yes, I
think the problem is actually with the modern day man who is not raised to be able to coexist with an empowered woman.
You're actually raising these men to actually coexist with these women, but these women are refusing now to coexist with these men, right? When you say men and women are equal, right? Why is it you're still shaming men for being broke and not shaming women for being broke? We are now equal, right? Why are you, no longer doing the same?
There are some things that there's a standard that still stands.
Equal,
as you say,
since we're equal, I'll say, Vikendi, I want us to get married, right? I want to be a house husband. You're supposed to be going to work, bringing in the money, everything. I'm supposed to be staying home, taking care of the house. And then to yourself, you'll be like, what? I don't want to be with such a loser. Because your nature is against that. But you are being told.
I'm saying in other spaces, I'm not against a woman. I work for myself.
Yes.
I'm not against a woman like myself who is empowered to go home and submit to her husband.
Yes.
I think at home,
those
dynamics still stand.
Would you now submit to a man who earns less than you? Would you
if
be able?
He is respectful.
Would you be able?
If he is respectful, loving, and monogamous.
By the way,
you cannot earn less than me and be promiscuous. Men are not supposed to be respectful
towards women. Men are not supposed to be respectful towards women.
They're supposed to love women.
Respect is for men. Women are supposed to be cherished.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when you say respect, you're other words saying, really what you're saying is this: if he's going to be what? A good, obeying husband, he's supposed to be obeying.
In any setting, even kumba kwenyu, munanyemari chirari mdi kwa uri.
Yes, that's the thing.
So I'm saying if you're going to look after a husband,
now,
at least
it goes against,
if I'm doing if I'm taking the role that he should have, at least he should be respectful. I will submit to him, but he has to be.
It's impossible because naturally you want a man you respect. If you don't respect a man, you don't love him. You tend to look at him like your child. That's the thing. And this is where I'm saying, okay, you are empowering these women. And then you are now asking yourself, why are these women, not happy? Because, okay, you've empowered these women. These women are earning this and that, this and that, this and that, this and that. How many men are earning more than these women? Right now, why would you celebrate a situation whereby you say the majority of income or wealth, is now centralized towards women? Like you'd say, who is buying houses? Women. Who is buying cars? Women. Right? You shouldn't celebrate such a scenario.
We celebrate because of history.
No, because it now means these women, they're not going to find men. They're not going to find men because even you yourself, you're always going to want a man who's doing better than you. It's natural for you. Now
it's a better setup.
Now you've got a situation whereby 70% women, are doing better, and then there are, 70, large, we'll say in a population, the 70% of people who are earning the most money, who are doing the biggest things are women, and then the other one are 30%. You are creating a situation whereby the men will not be able to what?
Are you intimidated to be in a relationship with a woman who earns more than you and is more comfortable financially?
I'm not intimidated. I'm just not willing to handle, to be with such, a woman. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to be with a fellow man in that relationship. They become masculine. They lose their femininity. With power, women lose their femininity. They become masculine.
Okay, now that you are, are you rich financially? Are you wealthy?
I'm not rich.
Which bracket are you?
For me, I would say up and coming. Yeah, I'm still struggling.
You're still struggling?
Yes.
Does that make you emasculated, since a standard for men
No.
to be masculine, to be a man
No.
is to be able to provide and to...
I'm not emasculated in the sense that I'm not married
Are you
to
a
anyone.
sim?
I'm not married to anyone. I'm not married to anyone. That's why I said you don't marry when you're not what? Financially stable. If I were to be married right now, yet I'm not financially stable, I would end up in a situation whereby I'm what? Emasculated. Where in a situation whereby I feel inadequate. But for me, that is why I haven't, been in a marriage. I haven't decided to marry.
Not just about marriage, but then for you personally, how would you take your financial standing now? For a 29-year-old, do you stay with your parents?
Yes.
Have you not failed?
I haven't failed. I haven't failed because, I'm not, seated, I haven't given up on life. I'm actually doing things to improve my life. That's the thing. I'm building my life, and believe me, it's going in the right direction. That is why I'm saying, if I were to marry someone right now, that would be like taking a detour. That would be taking a detour from the place where I'm supposed to be. And I can tell you, with the way I'm progressing, if God willing, in a matter of, I would say 3 years, I would be where I want to be.
Why are you not there now? What have been the stumbling blocks?
One thing women don't understand, success is a process. Success is a process. That is one thing
I think that you want to be understood more than you understand women.
That is the thing about our parents, the generation of our mothers. They did understand everything was a process. Now we've got these women raised in an instant environment. Everything they want is instant. Let's say you want to communicate with someone, you just go on your phone, you send a message, click, just like that. Your message has been what? Sent. You call someone, it's been sent. You want to order, food, you just go on your phone, you order food, bam, just like that. Food is on your what? On your door. You want to watch something, you just go online, you go on Netflix, you just what? Everything is there in an instant. That's the thing. Right?
How come you have a problem with this expectation of men, but then you don't have a problem with yourself body shaming women, fat women, or just making those reckless statements? Then you want to be understood as a person who is struggling.
I'm not saying understand me. I could care less if someone understands my situation. I could care less about that, right? When you mention things like body shaming, it's not that I'm against women. When I body shame a woman, I'm actually trying to do good for her. Because the reality is this, no man in his normal senses wants a fat woman. No man in his normal senses wants a fat woman.
Preference, Shadaya.
No, it's not preference. That is what we now call desperation. When you're, a man who cannot attract, like super fine ladies, you're going to settle for the crumbs, settle for what's there.
Are fat women crumbs?
Yes, a fat woman is a
crumb. They are
sexy,
fine fat women.
No, there's nothing sexy about a fat woman. Nothing sexy. Because here's the thing, they're smelly, they smell a lot.
You have been within their proximity to smell all of them?
Yes, they've got issues, mental issues, 1 minute she's crying, 1 minute am I getting more fat? You become a psychologist, dealing with this woman.
So big women, not fat women?
Fat women. They're fat women. Why do we need to, use these terms which are, how do I say, politically correct terms like big women, big boned women? They're fat.
Would you want to be called a broke guy?
Because I'm broke. Why would I want you to call me anything different? If I'm broke, I'm broke. That's the thing with us men. If I were to tell a dude, you're fat, you're supposed to hit the gym, he would be saying like, bro, okay, next thing is hitting the gym. That's the thing. Men are realists. We face the reality. You're a broke dude, so work on not being a broke dude. Would it be okay if I was to say, find a fancy term to call myself?
But then, as I mentioned, that there is what is called preference. There are men who actually prefer big women. That's their taste.
Men who prefer big women.
Yes.
Which men?
As I said, we cannot blanket. There are men who are actually able to choose from a pool of women, and according to their preference.
No high-value man has ever chosen a big woman. Because, okay, let's look at this. Let's go back. Let's go to America. Yes. Hollywood. We've got this big woman by the name of Lizzo.
Yes, Lizzo.
Lizzo.
Yeah.
Lizzo. On this other interview, she was complaining that the men in her vicinity, the men surrounding her, they do not want her. She was talking about, the same men she shares stages with, she shares events with, award ceremonies with. I'm talking about, I would say, Drake, Kanye West, whoever, those guys. She was saying they do not want her. Why do they not want her?
Because she is not their type.
No. Why is she not their type? Because she's fat. That's the thing. She's fat. If she wasn't fat, believe me, she would have what? Men who she wants actually what? Chasing her, actually wanting a piece of her. But because they do not find her attractive, they've got lots and lots of options. They do not want her. And here's the thing about women. Here's the thing. You talk about this body positivity as a good thing. But in reality, it's not a good thing. Women, you do not really mean that. Here's the thing. When you women say to a fat woman, go girl, go girl, go girl, you're not doing it out of the niceness of yourselves.
That's what you think.
You are celebrating the elimination of competition because okay, this fat one, if she's proud of being fat, okay, that leaves more room for me to get what? The high-value man.
I think it's appreciating different body types because we're all different.
No.
And it's appreciating
women are
that we're all different.
incapable of appreciating other women. Women, you hate each other. That's the thing. Women hate each other.
I think you are very stereotypical, and I cannot convince you otherwise.
Okay,
but
the empowered woman, the educated woman, she's always talking about how men are subjugating her, men are oppressing her. But okay, have you observed this? Most of the educated women, they are subjugating the uneducated women. I'll give you an example. Who does most of your dirty work? Things you're supposed to be doing. You've got a maid, the uneducated women. You are oppressing her, not me. You are very much oppressive.
Do you call that oppressing? That's her.
Okay, yes, thing. If a man was the one who was doing that, if a man was saying to you, cook for me, do this for me, you call it oppressive. But you don't find any reason, any bad part about it, you actually asking the
I think we
same
have different roles in society where you have a gardener.
We have what?
I think we have different roles where she's actually paid for those roles. And you can be kind to her.
In other words,
and it's
you
not
want to
dirty
be paid
work.
to be a housewife.
For some.
You want to be paid to be a housewife.
Where is the statement going?
No, I want to understand this. You're saying it's okay to subjugate these men.
It's not subjugating. It's a house help. It's not subjugating.
That's the thing you wear as a wife. You're supposed to be a house help. You're a house help.
No, but then it's a working wife.
But now you ended saying, I was being subjugated. I was being subjugated because I was a housewife. The very same things you refuse to do for your husband, you find no problem doing it for your boss.
There are wives to this day who do not find any problem with ironing for their husbands if they have time.
But they are being told.
Washing.
But now.
Who is saying that? I wouldn't find a problem if I'm home, if I'm married to do the chores.
Now they're being told you're wrong. You're not supposed to be doing that. He's supposed to be helping you. He's supposed to be doing this. He's supposed to be doing this. You're not telling them that. If a woman You can't.
Is there anything wrong if you're able to help? I guess it also goes back to knowing your partner. How was he raised, and is he capable of helping? Is there any problem with that?
Why is it romantic for a man to cook for his woman and slavery for a woman to cook for his man? That's the term we have nowadays. If I post a picture of my wife or my girlfriend cooking for me, you'd find most of the comments would be, negative. No, she's being used.
No, I think that's radical. As a woman, I think that's radical. There's nothing wrong.
Radical.
I think that's radical.
Women
the same
power.
way you've become extremist.
No, I'm not an extremist.
Yeah.
I'm just a realist, like I said. I just want us not to eliminate what is always worked. What is always worked.
How did you transition from Shadaya, the meme king,
yes,
to Shadaya, how would you call your position of the Ayatollah of toxicity?
Yes, okay, the transition.
Yeah.
It was very simple. I realized this, when I look at pretty much of Zimbabwe, right? The main people who are giving attention, they're clowns. I was a clown. And you wonder why most of the people end up becoming stupid, because they pay their attention to clowns. I had to be different, to try to offer knowledge. That's how the transition happened. I just decided I'm popular enough, people know me. So if I were to come up with something actually sensible, something that gets people talking, that's a big step. Because at the end of the day, for Zimbabwe, look at our social media, I would say, influencers or the people who are most viewed or followed on social media. You'd say about 90% of them, they're what? Clowns. People follow clowns. And then they wonder why they are depressed, wonder why they are not progressing, wonder why they are
Will
miserable.
a person not be depressed from following you?
No. You'll be liberated. Liberation.
So is your constituency just the males? You don't...
I talk about a lot of things. It's just that most of the times I talk about gender. Most of the times I talk about gender, but I talk about many things. I talk about politics, I talk about religion, I talk about finances, I talk about everything.
Are you saved yourself? Were you raised in a Christian home? Which religion do you practice?
I was raised in a Christian home. Yes. My parents, they were Christians. Yes. I was raised in that environment, but I wouldn't define myself now as a Christian. I would simply define myself as a spiritual guy. I'm very tolerant of all religions. I want to understand all religions because
So you're still seeking?
No, I'm not seeking. That's who I am. I'm tolerant of all the major religions. If I were to say I'm a Christian, that would mean I'm against people who are, no, that would mean, in a way, I do not buy into what the Muslims or Islam.
I'm Christian,
Islam.
And in Christianity we're told, I'm a Jesus believer, we're told to love.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean
we are
being
told in
a
Christianity
who is under the lordship of Jesus Christ. It doesn't mean that I hate Muslims.
You don't hate,
no.
But I'm saying in Christianity, at the end of the day, you're being told Jesus is the way. And then we've got Muslims, they are being told maybe their way is through the Prophet Muhammad, Allah, right? So in other words, there's a contradiction. There's a contradiction. For me now, I am respective of all these religions.
You can't be everything. I'm sure there's one thing that you submit to, and it doesn't make you intolerant.
No, that is why now I'm saying I'm a spiritual being. I refuse to become a religious fanatic. I refuse to be that.
Do you pray? And when you pray, who do you pray to?
When I pray, I pray to the mighty being, because I believe there's a supreme being out there. I pray to that supreme being.
Okay.
Yes, because I believe everything started with a supreme being. I do believe in the supreme being, because here's the thing: when you look at all these religions, they all allude to a supreme being. Maybe they differ in names or how they define him. Even you go to Buddhism, Hinduism, whatever religion you go to, they all end up alluding to a supreme being out there.
Okay.
I believe in a supreme being.
You studied development studies, and then I understand that you're also pursuing a master's in psychology.
No, not psychology. International relations.
International relations. Where is it you want to end in the next 5 years?
As for education, I do it for the pursuit of knowledge, not that I would want it to take me like necessarily anywhere. Because at the end of the day, if you go or pursue education with the intention of maybe career-wise, because it won't work out, you end up depressed. Because if I were to be honest with you, most of the degrees, I would say they are irrelevant in this modern day era, but they're still being offered. They're irrelevant. For me, it's just, I love knowledge. I love knowing things, discovering new things, learning new things. That's
So what is it that you do outside of you being the Ayatollah of toxicity?
What is it that I do outside of being Ayatollah?
Yeah.
Okay. Shadaya, like you said, is to, educating himself. I love educating myself. And to simply put it, hustler. That's the definition of Shadaya. Hustler, no, kungwava. It's, I would say, hustling, no. It's still hustlers, hustling.
The other day we were complaining about the transport system.
Kungwava, it means you are chasing money. And I don't chase money. I make sure money chases me. There's a difference.
Is it now chasing you?
Money is chasing me, but it's not the amount of money I want. I'm just being it's also the massive servant, but
okay.
Yes, I want big money to chase me because I believe you create value for yourself, money follows.
Value first and then money follows.
Money follows.
Yeah.
Yes.
And with this brand that you've created, do you think it will attract the money that you wish to have?
Yes, it will attract the money that I wish to have. It will.
The other time you're complaining about the transport system, and you were saying that you now understand why, girls go for rich guys who are able to look after
when
them.
It comes to that tweet, it flew over many people's heads. I wasn't really, not even. Okay. I'm now going to reveal something. The thing with me is I'm quite a clever person, When it comes to talking about things that can be deemed political, I never talk about them directly. I find creative ways to talk about these issues. I simply wanted the people who go on my page every single day to know that the very same things they are facing, I'm aware of, I know of. But I cannot go on and say something direct like, Zupko this, that. But the issue was about bringing the Zupko issue, which everyone was talking about. But I had to do it.
So sometimes you don't say the truth.
But I had to do it in a creative way. People, whereby they would enjoy the tweet, but at the same time, they would know, like, dude, he's experiencing the very same things we're experiencing. He's with us. That's the thing. But I have to be clever about it.
And how would you want to be remembered for? We're getting, advanced in age. And what is the legacy that you'd want to create for yourself?
The legacy.
For this Shadaya.
Shadaya. Do you know Kevin Samuels?
May he so rest in peace.
You know him?
Yes.
Yes. May God, shine light upon him up there in heaven. I'm very sure he's up there in heaven. He did a lot of good work. A lot of good work. I would say I would want to leave pretty much the same legacy he left. He was an inspiration to me. Yes, that's this legacy I would want to leave for myself.
All right, and your tweets have been shared on various platforms. How do you feel about that? The other time it was Snoop Dogg, and I saw the other time you shared a different page in America.
Yeah.
Where your content has gone far and wide.
I feel good about it because it means we are reaching more people. We're trying to liberate more people. We're trying to get more people thinking. It feels good. It feels good. Yes.
When is the book coming out?
The book is supposed to come in August. August. Winter, I'm supposed to be finishing up a few things. Winter, I'll be polishing it up, and then August, we release it.
What is the book about, and is the target audience men only?
No. Even women can, if they can stand to read at least 2 pages of it, they should buy it. It's basically describing female nature, talking about female nature, because most men, they are not aware of female nature.
And you understand it so much
Yes, I understand.
from observing?
Observing, experience, what I've heard from my elders, everything. I know women, and they know I know them. Yes, they know I know them.
I'm a woman. I'm not so sure about that.
You are
statement.
very much sure of that. You are very much sure of that.
Okay.
You know I know you.
And your presence on social media, I know sometimes it's this, as we said, this villain. Do you ever get affected mentally?
No, because I wasn't raised soft. Why would I be affected by things on a digital platform? Why would I be affected?
Because sometimes it's say people who project this strong character behind closed doors, they are very soft.
Oh,
and
yes.
they actually cry.
Shadaya crying. You can imagine that. Shadaya crying.
Yes, I think.
Does it make any sense?
It actually does.
That's like saying.
Because of this
That's
character.
like saying you go to hell and then you see snow. Snow in heaven. Snow in hell. Does it make any sense? Yes, I'm going to reveal a secret. Only a few people who are close to me know this. When my father passed away, I loved my father dearly. My father passed away in 2012. He passed by my side. We were actually watching a movie, and then he started vomiting blood. Oh. I watched my father vomit about 5 liters of blood.
I'm so sorry about that.
I watched him. You know what? I didn't even react emotionally.
Does that make you strong?
No. That's just how my father raised me. I'm never, affected by things in the way the modern man is affected by things.
Do you think crying is
if I couldn't
weak?
cry with regards to my father, a man I looked up so much to, dying in front of me, I was the one who actually touched my father here, checking for the pulse. Couldn't hear anything. And I had to tell my mother, your husband is passed away. Throughout the whole burial process, not even a single tear. And you think I would cry over what someone is saying on a digital platform.
How do you deal with pain?
How do you deal with pain?
Maybe you don't cry. How do you deal with pain? How do you deal with those downside moments which the rest of us also go through?
Yes,
As Shadaya,
yes,
who's not this masculine ayatollah.
You become creative with that pain. Pain should be channeled in a progressive way. If I'm pissed off, I'm going to write something. I write a lot of things. Some of those, you never see them online, but I write a lot of things. Poems, I write this and that. Sometimes I just go out and just say, I'm just going to take a walk. Sometimes I just say, I'm going to be working out to work out this anger that I have, whatever that I'm feeling. Working out itself. And by the time I'm done, I'm good.
Okay.
Because a man should never cry.
I think it's toxic masculinity
No, it's not
to
toxic
say in
masculinity.
Dodai a man should never
No,
cry.
a man should
a
never
person
cry.
should express themselves
Because,
the
yes,
best way they know how to.
Yes,
for you walk, you write, and then for others, they cry and they release.
That's being weak. Because here's the thing, you've got people who look up to you. As a man, you're supposed to be the rock. Here's the thing, imagine.
That's why a lot of men are actually taking their lives because
it's not
of
because
that expectation.
No, it's not because of that expectation.
I think you're contradicting.
No, it's because now these men, they no longer have anyone to turn to because the former male spaces we had, we no longer have them. We used to have what were in Dari Rivarume, men sharing with other men. Because I can tell you this, no normal man is willing to share his problems or his weaknesses with his woman. Would even share with another woman, a total different woman, but never his woman. It's impossible for us to do that. It's impossible.
Okay.
So, going back, I was saying a man should never cry. Because here's the thing, you are supposed to be a rock. when kids talk about their fathers, they talk about these superheroes. Now imagine.
Maybe your father
No.
cried,
now imagine, yes,
not before your eyes.
You see your father, he's crying. Honestly, what does that do to your mental psyche as a kid? You as a wife, whatever you face, women, you love complaining about even the slightest of things. Now you're seeing this man, he's crying. Believe me, that day is the day you lose any ounce of respect you had for that man.
He does not really have to cry in front of his kid, but
No.
then if he can, or if it happens,
that is why we say,
then it shows that he is human and not a rock.
No, what we're not saying is men need to know the proper way of dealing with situations, dealing with things. They need to talk about these situations with other men. They need to find alternatives to deal with pain. We don't do it the same way women do. Go to the gym, work out, try this, but do not cry. Leave that for women. Men shouldn't cry.
At home, as you say that you still stay with your mom. Does she
Yes.
send you, or she treats you as the father of the house?
Okay, yes, then. Since she was raised in the conservative era, right? Yes, then I respect her for the sake of that. She's what? She's my mother, right? I respect my mother very well. But at the same time, she respects that in as much as I'm a son, I'm the first son. So, in a way, she cannot be, sending me to do this and that, this and that, this and that. Rather, she would do, I would say the same thing she would do with my father. Just ask, can you? And then it's up to me if I want to or not.
So you can say no.
I can say, no, I'm not going there.
Do you do the dishes? Do you help with cooking?
Why would I do dishes?
Do you know how to do them?
I know how to do them.
Do you know how to cook?
I know how to cook. But here's the thing. This is where I go by. Like, a man should know how to do these things. But a woman should love doing these things. That's the difference. A woman should love cooking. A woman should love doing chores.
Do you have siblings?
Yes, I have siblings.
You come from a family of how many?
4.
You're
Yes,
the first?
I have my elder sister. And then there's me, then my two brothers. Yes. They are the ones who do, some of the, the light work. Since we no longer have a chick in the house. They do the light work, but they know even certain things, they do not have to do that. We leave it that to what? To our mom. She does that. You cannot find my little brother's cooking. Doesn't make any sense. Why would I want to feminize my brothers?
He knows how to cook. If mom is not there.
He knows when but if she's there, we're not going to cook.
If she's tired.
If she's tired, we'll find a plan. We are not going to cook when there's a woman in the house. Doesn't make any sense. She knows that.
That sounds chauvinistic.
No, it's not chauvinistic.
That's your mom and you are the children.
Yes, we are the children. Yes, but she's our mom. She's a woman at the end of the day. We are not supposed to cook when there's a woman in the house. She knows that. She doesn't complain about that. She knows that.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not sure about that stance, but hey, if this is really happening on the ground.
No, it happens on the ground, and it's actually normal. I'm actually surprised that it's shocking, because that's how things are supposed to be. It's normal.
And I'm saying in a case where maybe she has traveled, she's tired.
No, okay, she has traveled, she's not by the
No, and
house.
then she comes back.
Okay, maybe she comes back late, we cook, we buy something, we find a plan. But if she's there, she's fit and good, she's going to cook. We're not going to cook. Why would we cook when there's a woman in the house who's very, very okay?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Do you listen to music locally? Do you have any favorites? What do you do when you are not the Ayatollah? I go back.
Okay. Local music.
Yeah, local music.
Local music, I would say I listen to the classics. 80s, 90s. The 80s, 90s guys, Sungura era. Yes, I listen to those. That was real music. As for this crap, this modern day crap, I don't listen to it.
You don't think there's anyone making good music? Ja Praise and Natty O?
Yes, Ja Praise once in a while. Yes, he brings up some good hits. Winky D, good music, by the way. I would say maybe Winky D and Ja Praiser. Those are the ones I would say I'll pay attention to. The majority, the rest, crap. Just crap. I'm not learning anything from their music. I'm not getting anything meaningful from their music. Crap.
I saw you again commenting on different dynamics in relationships regarding our celebrities.
Yes.
Would you want to run through that again?
There's not much to go about. I would simply say, okay, we are in a situation whereby our male celebrities, the majority of them, they've been pussified. And then when we look at the women, they've become masculine. Sort of like role reversal. The men are now the women are now the men. Yes, when I talk about these things, these are men who are raised, soft. They refuse to grow up because he's still a boy, but he's a grown man. He's still a boy. I don't even blame, that chick for ending up leaving him if she did. Because at the end of the day, a woman needs to be with a man, not a boy. Yeah.
And you say that he made the wrong pick.
Honestly, that was just me talking, but he did make a wrong pick. Because at the end of the day, there are certain women who are supposed to be put inside the marriage and those who are supposed to just be slaughtered outside.
But then that's a masculine woman who you suggested that she was going to look after him. I was saying
since he was a lazy man who wants to be taken care of, he was better off with that woman rather than with this woman. It's not something I would advocate for men to want to be with masculine men, but I was saying in his situation, considering he's not a Shadaya, he's not a guy who wants to work, he's not a guy who wants to hustle, he's not a guy who wants to struggle and make an earning for himself to make something out of himself. He's not a guy who wants to live within his means. It was better for him to be taken care of by this woman rather than, ending up with the woman he chose.
What do the people who went to school with you think of you now? Are they surprised or you were always this person?
Not surprised.
The
guys, they're not surprised. The chicks, not surprised. Because I was always like this.
What's this?
You go to varsity, MSU, you ask my classmates. I was always this person. I'm a no-nonsense person. I love people who contribute. People who contribute value. If you don't contribute value, I don't give a fuck about you.
Okay.
Yes.
And when you trained at that other time, Orimu food court?
That was chicken slice.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you get affected by people laughing at you?
No, I didn't get affected. The only thing that actually pissed me off was this. The very same people who are talking about body shaming, the very same people who are talking about mental health, they hated as hypocrites. They were now doing the same thing to this chick. Okay.
Because that's what you do to
No,
chicks.
you hate me.
Oh.
You hate me. This chick has never done anything wrong to you. You hate me. If you've got anything against me, say it to me.
Which kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Don't end up, attacking someone who's innocent because she has never said anything bad to you, but you were attacking her. Yes.
Did it affect her?
Yes, she was affected. Because for her, she was like, okay, I've never done anything to these people. They are saying these mean things about me. Why?
She was caught in the fire.
Yes. And I had to make her understand, the majority of people, they're just what? Idiots. They say this and then they go against this. She understands. She got over it. Now, thicker. She understands it. If you are to take a picture of me with her and say whatever you say, she's just like,
is she on social media?
It's okay. No.
Okay, even if she is, you can't say.
No, she doesn't have to be on social media.
Okay.
She knows I don't like social media chicks. I don't.
Is it not a double standard for...
I don't like my chicks to be on social media.
But you can be on social media?
Yeah, for me, I can be on social media because I'm able to control myself. I'm able, how would I say it? The power that's there, I'm able to control it.
Does it not give you pressure, though, that you have this persona who's very popular on social media, but maybe not at par with where you are?
No.
Does it not give you pressure?
No, that's the thing. That is why I always say Shadaya is not a celebrity. Shadaya is not your typical Zimbabwean celebrity, whereby he feels the pressure that now, because I'm popular, now I have to give, this portrayal of my life. I have to act like this. I'm living like this. No. That's
For someone who says so much about so many things, it doesn't give you...
Shadaya is just a realist. You say whatever he says. Next thing you're in a Zupco rank, you see him there waiting in the queue with you, waiting for a Zupco. You talk to him, he talks with you. You see him at a queue for food, whatever, he's there. That's the Shadaya you get. You see him, Bamabero, selecting stuff for himself to wear. That's Shadaya. He doesn't have to fake anything. Shadaya is real.
And on that note, Shadaya is very real. Again, happy birthday. Thank you so much for the time. With a conversation with you always get us back to philosophies about gender, about different things. And I hope we were able to get to know him a little bit more. I'll let you say your parting shot here.
My parting words. I would simply say, your 20s, make sure you make something out of your life. Don't go end up regretting in your 30s. Simple as that.
What do the 30s look like for you? And that's just next year.
They look bright. Bright because I laid the foundation. They look bright. Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
We await that. Do you think as you get older, you're going to be toning your statements and your stance?
As I get older, I think it's only going to be more of an evolution. Right now, I look at things mainly from, I would say, a bachelor. I'm a bachelor, right? I look at things from that. Maybe 10 years from now, I'll be looking at these things from a father's point of view, a husband's point of view. But the message will always remain the same. Stay red-pilled. Simple as that.
There you have it. Thank you so much, Shadaya. And it's one of those things that when you get to know them, to understand with some of the things that we can't really agree on. Thank you so much for watching, Shadaya. Where are we? Where are we?
Right now?
Yes.
We are at Hot Plate, Grill House, 2nd and Silondika.
Your favorite spot?
My favorite spot. Why is that so? Very, very private. No one takes pictures of me. I can actually get to enjoy my meals with, my company. That's the thing. Yes.
Now you can come here with your girl and it will be private.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching Candid with Candid. Thank you. Remember to subscribe and also to share. We are giving away 10 meals courtesy of Hot Plate Grill House. So make sure that you share this and also that you tag Grill House and we'll be able to come with a meal near you, or you can actually come this side and dine with us here. I am V Candid. Many thanks to all our sponsors and who make it possible for us to look good. Thank you so much. Remember to pray, to keep trusting God, keep believing. Until next time.